right, can everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have roll call, please?
Supervisor McGlasson?
Present.
Councilwoman Campbell?
Present.
Councilman Totori?
Here.
Councilman Ruthven?
Here.
Councilwoman Batti? Here. All present.
Thank you. We're going to actually start tonight by inviting our Highway Superintendent, Richard Othmer, up here to discuss. I know residents had some questions, and I think he should let us all know what's going on in the town. I'm going to move. Well, do you want to wait? No, I know it's your bedtime already, so I'm trying to.
Let me, I gave you guys handouts.
Yep.
Yes.
Let me give the crowd handouts.
I'm sorry, Richie. I was trying to be.
No, I appreciate it. Here, let me give you guys.
Like, we still haven't gotten
But we don't have a budget. We don't know what to do.
think he had it better time.
I guess you can put the order in, but
Yeah.
we're gonna have to make orders. What if they all come at the same time?
I don't think they're going to.
I have no fingerprints. Do you want to keep these in your office in case people ask you?
Sure.
Just as, everything I just handed out, it's all been on the website.
Thank you.
Okay. What is it? I want to face What's that?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like Peter Lemongello. All right, the supervisor asked me to come down here because there's been they need clarification, I guess, the public and the board about two different things. One, she asked me to explain the procedure, how I choose what road we're going to pave. And number two is the shared service agreement I have in place with the county. So I guess I'll start with the shared service, and let me do my spiel, and then I'll answer questions from everybody, and then I'll move on to the how I choose the roads I pave. Okay, on the shared service, May 18, 2017, then Governor Cuomo came out with a directive that he sent to every county executive in New York State, requiring them to establish a shared service plan with the towns in the county. So that was a directive by the governor to the county executives, and if they did not do it, they didn't know how at that point, but funding would, it's kind of like with the marijuana law, funding would be questionable or not fully funded, so he wanted to do the shared service and make it official, and a lot of towns have been doing it already on their own, but they just never made it official. It's been going on for years. So then Supervisor Maureen Fleming and I attended several meetings at the Emergency Service Center in the county building for lectures and PowerPoints on what they wanted. We filled out forms. I know they sequestered the different departments in the town, and they wanted each department, I believe, to send in a proposal. So I did mine with the Highway Department, and we sent it in. And right here on the Putnam County Press of January 24, 2018, there's a huge article with County Turns Corner on Cuomo's Shared Service Initiative, and it was written by Holly Crocco. And just last week, legislators unanimously approved an intermunicipal agreement to provide highway services for the town of Kent. We have an agreement. I have a signed agreement in place, signed by the county executive, the commissioner of highways, the town supervisor, the then town supervisor, and myself. And it's a legal document, it's in place. And if you read, I don't have the whole document here, but it's about sharing equipment, sharing men, teaming up together on projects, and we've been doing it ever since. Now, I know the big question here is the golf course. And that was my obligation, well, that was what was requested by me from the Putnam County Highways and Facilities Department. Now, Putnam County Highways and Facilities, we've been going back and forth on a very, very good relationship. They just did all the plumbing and the electric in our addition at the Highway Department for free. I'm going to say, if we had to get a prevailing wage contractor in there, you're talking $50,000+. We built a 15-foot high, 500-foot long retaining wall, 8 foot thick, where we're putting our new building up. I got prices for that wall at $125 a square foot, which at 8,000 square feet was $1 million. We built it in-house for $25 a square foot with our men, with our highwaymen. It cost us $175,000 to do it. I could not have done that if I did not have the county's heavy-duty excavator. That excavator, if you go down to Pine Brook Equipment or H.O. Penn, costs $11,000 and change per month to rent. We had it for just about a full year. We used it at the landfill after the hurricane to clean up the landfill. So that's just two of the items the county helped us with. When we blacktop roads, we only have 20 men in the town highway department. When I have to pave a road, I need at least 9 guys on the road driving trucks to the blacktop plant so you can keep a continuous supply of blacktop to the paver. So you don't have any time in between, so it's a monolithic pour. The blacktop binds together as one road. You don't have a 2-hour wait or whatever. So the county, we have 3 10-wheelers. The county has, I don't know, half a dozen, I guess, Chris. So what the county does is they supply truck drivers for me, which frees up 3 or 4 of my drivers that are now on the ground with rakes and tampers and rollers. Because if I have 9 or 10 or sometimes 11 guys driving trucks, that leaves me with 9 guys on the ground. To run 2 rollers, I need 3 guys minimum to run the paving machine. You need guys raking and tamping on the side. You have to fine-tune everything at residence driveways. So it frees up my manpower. The job goes smoothly. Their trucks haul more than our trucks haul. They're bigger trucks, and it works out. And so I can go on and on about. After the tornado, we were dumping over in Pugsley Road. We put a lot of our trees and our debris over there. The county accepted that. It's a really, really good relationship. It's saved us a lot of money in the town of Kent. One of the requirements, they did the golf cart paths at Putnam National, and I'd say in the last, well, since this took place in the last 4 years, we were there for maybe 5 times, less than a day each. We were done by 2 o'clock. We hauled in. We came out and we were done, and that was our payback, on that thing. I also have the same exact agreement with the New York State DOT, signed by the Region 8 Chief Engineer, Lance McMillan. We share equipment with the state. I use their hydroseeder. I'm getting the New York State 10-ton roller to do our parking lot when our building's done in the highway garage. I've had their rock hammer. Probably one of the best days that I saw for a taxpayer was I had my guy, Stanley Robinson, a Kent Highway employee, in the Putnam County rock hammer, breaking rock on 311 on a state road. You had the 3 different levels of government working together, and to the average taxpayer, the state did not have to go rent a rock hammer. Stanley was one of the few people in the county, he could run a flying saucer if it landed here, the guy. and we got the job done for the state. So that's that. My list goes on and on. It was in the newspaper over 4 years ago. It's official. It's a legal document. No one questioned it when the deal, when it was made. The other towns were supposed to keep going forward with it, but COVID hit, and then the governor resigned, and the ball just dropped. But in the meantime, I did get my state and my county shared services agreement signed, official. It's a legal document, and as a New York State elected official, I have every right, and it's up to me to make sure it's an honest trade-off, which I do. I have many relatives and live in the town of Kent that are taxpayers. They watch what I do. I pay taxes. I'm not going to throw our money away, and I guess that's part of the pact that you make with the public when they elect you. They trust you, and if you betray their trust, you're out. So I would not do that, and that's that. So now, before I go on, does anybody have any questions about the shared services? I'll answer anything you want.
Yeah, Rich, when you're doing the shared services and over the years, are you keeping a log of equipment, and when you're keeping the log of equipment, if you borrow it from the county, does Nick look at it and say it was in good shape, and then when you hand it back, is there something that is following that paperwork? And if,
I just keep a running list. Like right now, New York State DOT has our backhoe for a couple of days. I'm sorry.
Wait, give him yours.
The New York State DOT has my backhoe. I'm getting their 10-ton roller in August, but that wasn't, you really can't, that was one of the things I was going back and forth with the State Commission. You can't schedule emergencies.
right.
When I go in tomorrow, I don't know what's going to be broken. I don't know what's going to start. So I can't like say, hey, my roller's going to break in September. Can I have your roller? You can't do that. So it's a running list of trust and just good government officials doing what's right for the people. I mean, it's not going to, it's been balanced out. We keep, if you look at the wording of the agreement, Nancy, it's worded in such a way that it makes logical sense that nobody's getting taken advantage of. I mean,
No,
the
but
state.
Equipment breaks, so
What's that?
equipment breaks. I'm saying, so let's say we borrowed the county's equipment and it broke on ours. So do you log that we broke it, we fixed it on this date, and we gave it back the way we got it? Same with if they borrow our equipment, the state, you said, has the backhoe. If it comes back broken, you know, the taxpayers gave a lot of money for a lot of new equipment for your department, and so now you're lending it out. Things happen on the jobs. If it doesn't come back, is there an agreement that who
Things have been honorable so far. The only thing I could think of is a bucket cracked on the state. I'm going back 2 years. One of the things we borrowed, I think that maybe it was the county's rock hammer, that old rock hammer they have on wheels. Something cracked on the casing and we welded it. It was Larry Bove was the welder back then, and we welded it when we handed it back. I mean, they're not going to hand it back broken. We're not going to hand it back broken. It's worded like that in the contract. Everybody's too protective of their budgets, and you know, I'm not going to be careless with that. And I believe as an elected official, that people trust me to make that decision.
Well, even how about if the guys get work on the county job? Are we covered there?
Yes, we were covered by the agreement.
The agreement goes into if they've gotten hurt?
No, if they get hurt, they're covered by the county. They're in their trucks. They're not driving our town trucks. They're driving the county trucks.
Well, no, but when you went to go pave over at the county golf course, it's our men, our machinery. Let's say they got hurt on that particular job. Who pays for it?
Kathy, it goes under the same law as if a Kent cop, if there's a shooting incident in Patterson, what happens if the cop gets shot in Patterson? It's the same. When I was a legislator, we went through the same thing. And it's an agreement that everyone's going to help each other and you're going to cover your own men.
Well, that sounds
Otherwise, we're going to spend a lot more money in taxes because the county and the state have big equipment that we don't need all the time, and it benefits us and we save thousands of dollars. And actually, the little equipment that we have helps the state in certain cases. The New York State has one backhoe for Region 8, which is, there's so many bean counters in Albany that if they want to use a backhoe, they have to put in a request like 3 months ahead of time. It's ridiculous.
But I guess that bothers me is that we're the small guy, and it seems like we're passing our stuff to the county and to the state, and I don't feel that enough comes back this way.
Based on what? Based on Kathy, we just spent
backhoe.
$120,000 on a machine rental. We saved $750,000 building this wall. And if I want to go on, the Miller Hill and the Dean Road Bridge, I got prices of $800,000 plus to do them. I had the county's excavator. We did those two roads, those two box culverts for $135,000 each with the county's equipment. I'm a county taxpayer. You're a county taxpayer. So I've been in contracting my whole life. It makes perfect sense to me. There's no cheating. There's no underhanding going on. If we're going to start counting beans like that, if you lend your neighbor a gallon of gas for his lawnmower, oh, well, God, I didn't get my gallon of gas back this year. I'm going to get it back next year. You can't think like that. People
It's not
are
lending your neighbor. This is people's tax money that are having a hard time
right.
paying.
And
taxes.
I'm using their Putnam County tax-paid equipment. They pay for the Putnam County equipment as well. So I don't understand what you're getting at. They all
just
pay
would like to
taxes to
see the
Putnam County.
numbers.
They're
I would
paying
like
for
to
the
see-
Putnam County excavator, and they're paying for the Kent backhoe.
Richie, I want you to be really honest with this. Do you think you've gotten a better deal from the county, or the county's gotten a better deal from you?
I don't want to say it. I don't want them to hear that.
Well, I know what the
Okay,
answer
but is there
is.
something that is down on paper that we can say, wow, this did
Yes,
really work?
the agreement says that. And it
no.
says that we're supposed to keep,
And we also have mutual insurance requirements.
You do have the
We
mutual,
do,
that's what I
yeah.
was asking about. Yeah, so that's a
We
big
each have
deal.
certificates of insurance.
Right,
naming
but
the
that's a
other-
big deal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
important.
It's important, yeah. But I'm just saying, is there, like, after you've done the project, like, let's say just for 1 year, I'm not talking about all the 8 years, I'm talking 1 year at a time, that when you've done the sharing services, is there an accounting of the monies, you know, like how much time and men and equipment went out to them versus what we got for the year? Is it working out? That's
I
what
could
I'm
create that sheet if
Probably
it's wanted.
probably in our favor. Let's,
Okay, but
Richie
I
doesn't
think
want to say it,
it's-
but I see
It's
it.
definitely in our favor.
Okay.
It is.
All right, but you see it because you work for the county, but I'm saying that as a taxpayer, I'd like to see it, that, to make sure that it's working.
We don't
And I
want,
think
we
that
don't want the
should have
county to, we
records.
don't
Well,
want
you
the
pay
county
ta-
to
But
stop
you
doing
don't
it.
figure it out by the dollar. I've been
I mean,
there.
I
I
could-
know you make out well because I've been there looking at the new building and I've seen all the county guys that are there. I've seen the county trucks, days and days and days and days. So
They were there
This
helping
town
with the
needs
bridge.
so much work on its infrastructure. If you want me to sit there and bean count, I will do it. But it's such a waste of my time. And it's so time consuming to sit there and go, well, I had a truck driver for 17 hours and we had
No, you
him
know
on
what
this."
I mean, like a by project, Rich, like this costs
By
us
project,
this
I can
much.
name it. I
You
actually,
know,
if you
I didn't
wanna,
say every dime, I'm saying it's just an accountability to the taxpayers, that's what I'm saying.
all right, well, Richie, how much do you think manpower and everything we spent when we were at the golf course?
We were done in 6 hours. This year, we were there for 6 hours.
Okay.
About 3 weeks ago. Probably a dozen guys out of our 20 were there. So whatever the dozen guys, 6 hours payroll, the truck and the fuel, the county pays for the blacktop. And we were in and out of there. We thought we were going to go back a second day, and Louis
Banged it out one day.
banged it out in one day.
And the reason being is it's almost the opposite scenario. The county doesn't have a paver that size. They don't have trucks that little to haul the blacktop. They only got the big ones. So that's the shared services. They're using the town's resources, and then the town uses the county's resources.
Well, you're paying Putnam County taxes and New York State taxes, so that's where I don't get, I mean, you're paying for all of it. You're paying for the county trucks and you're paying for the state trucks. So it's all your
The
tax
county's
money.
not paying for our town trucks, and the state's not paying for our town trucks. Like I say, I feel like we're the little guy, they should be helping us, and
They
we're
are.
helping them. It just seems a lot. And again, they got to be paved, but we can't get our potholes done.
Your potholes are being paved every day, Kathy. There's potholes being paved. I have a crew out every day. There's just a lot of them. There was a lot of catch-up to do. We're paving Pudding Street
There are
right now.
craters, the plant's been open, what, since March? I've never seen it
Plant's
take
been open
this
since
long.
the end of April.
Well, I've never seen it take this long. We have craters.
Kathy, there's a lot of catch-up to do with our infrastructure. If you're talking about Lake Carmel,
I'm
we're-
talking
we're-
about the whole town, Rich. I do drive around, I do go other places.
Okay, all right, so then,
So-
all right, I'm not doing a good job with that. I
You know,
apologize.
and
for you.
then, because then the brush needs cutting and everything. I just feel like if we keep continuing doing these shared services, maybe it has to be at a certain time. We're, September or something. But right now, it should be that we're paving. And I see on here that 2 roads, Lincoln and Cedric, are supposed to be paved. And you had told me last year you were going to do that too. Again, I don't know if you've been driving around the roads, but like these heavy rains have brought out a lot of dirt, stormwater running down the roads. I mean, mud. I have pictures. I have videos. You would have to have the street sweeper out again, because I have pea gravel from somebody that.
We're still sweeping.
did it.
It's out. I saw it just the other day.
We're still
Yeah.
sweeping.
Yeah, I mean, they did do our side, but after these heavy rainstorms, and I think we're supposed to get one tonight, that, it's
There was a
just-
lot of sand put on the roads this year. We used a 50-50 mix.
Right.
Most towns use pure salt, but listen to Henry Boyd, they're ruining the wells. So we
And you would
have to
ruin the
sweep
lake
up
if
more.
you did pure salt.
What's that?
You would ruin the lakes if you did pure salt.
Well, what's happening when you use the sand, you get to keep the salt away from the wells, but the sand washes down and fills up the catch basins
Right.
immediately.
Yeah.
And holds phosphorus.
We have over 1,000 catch basins. I have
But
20
the salt
guys.
will kill the lakes also.
We're out working hard every day. And
Well, I appreciate the explanation. I wanted to, voice my concern. But again, you know, again, paving, you did 2 private communities and you did the golf course, and you didn't do us. And that, as a
Kathy,
taxpayer,
I'm in Lake Carmel every day. I wasn't here to defend myself. Hillendale is one little section. We have an agreement with them it's a law, it's in Albany now, it's been voted upon. When you were serving as town supervisor,
I got
Kathy,
that.
please let me finish.
I got it. I know, you've told me
Well,
this
no,
100 times.
I deserve a rebuttal.
That doesn't explain
Kathy,
why you did them
You
first.
can't say that statement and walk away.
No.
When you were supervisor, the town of Kent Highway Department plowed and sanded Sedgwick. They paved the whole road in Hillendale, and you never got
And
any money
I don't
back.
know that for a fact, and Tony's not here to say anything.
Well, that's convenient, but I
You
have
know,
plenty of men that
he's
will tell
dead?
me that.
That's convenient?
And Kathy,
There's 4 supervisors that aren't here.
it says on the vouchers what roads we paved. You signed the vouchers to pay them. And you've signed vouchers to pave a private road. And you did it because
Tony-
you didn't know any better.
Tony
I'm not
told
gonna make
me,
an issue out of
right,
it.
yeah, you are making an issue out of it.
You
know,
fired first
you're
round.
mixing up the whole
gotta move this
conversation.
All right. You know, we're not fighting, excuse me, we're not fighting with each other.
All right,
Let
but the
each other,
question,
okay.
Supervisor,
but
the question was, why-
excuse me.
Why?
Excuse me. Let him finish and then you go.
Well,
We
he
are
keeps
not
attacking.
fighting. We
He's
are not,
attacking.
okay. But now you're talking over me and I'm trying to speak,
Well, he
and
was
that's,
attacking.
I'm,
Addressing our questions to the board and our statements to the board and not each other like that.
Okay.
can
I
you?
want to know why the private roads, I don't care about the law. I want to know why, over a month ago, private roads were paved and the county was taken care of with pavement before our roads. That's what I wanted to know.
Now, do we have to start repaying them because they've been at your, I've seen them in your yard, the county, for the past, I don't even know how many months. Why, so did you have to do the golf course? Was there a reason why you did it, why you did the 2 private areas before any of Lake Carmel?
I don't know what section of Lake Carmel Mrs. Doherty's talking about, but I have documentation. I've been patching potholes in Lake Carmel since the beginning, as soon as the blacktop plant opened. We hit a different section every day. One of the biggest things we do in Lake Carmel before I pave, Lake Carmel is full of rotted metal pipes that need to be changed out. And Lake Carmel is a beehive. Once you get into an area, it takes more work to prep a quarter mile of road in Lake Carmel than it does to do 5 miles of road in Western Kent. We're doing Pudding Street right now in Lake Tibet. We took us 6 days to get those roads ready, and they're being paved right now. So we'll have about 5 miles of road banged out, hopefully by Friday, probably with the rain, probably by Tuesday. In Lake Carmel, I'll give you for instance, I have a young girl, actually, we met in your office. She lives in Lake Carmel. She's got a new baby. She comes to supervisor's office crying. I go up to look at her house in Lake Carmel. The poor girl lives in a drain and a bathtub. More than half the houses in Lake Carmel were built on horrible spots. It's a hilled area. I know it was a summer cottage, but they're tough nuts to crack. They're tough nuts to solve. Because what I do at your house is going to affect his house. There's some steep holes there. Hills. It's a tough area to work in and remedy, and it's never been properly done over the years. And there's extensive drainage work to be done in Lake Carmel. I have an older Italian woman and an older Irish woman. They both have 200-foot hills behind their house that are not on highway land. Their septic systems are flooded. The Parks Department doesn't have any way to help them. I can get a little machine in there and put a curtain drain in. So before I start doing that work and pave their road, I got to change the pipes out, try to fix the flooding problem. It's work that can be done, but it's involved work in Lake Carmel. And you get I'm going to try to finish up the Barrett Hill section this year, which I started last year. We did a lot up there. We did the Dingley section the year before. I'm trying to isolate different sections of the Lake Carmel and get it done. Kathy, it's involved work. I'm not ignoring Lake Carmel, and I could go around and just pave a street over bad pipes and bad basins and not fix the drains, and it's going to look beautiful for 5 years, and everyone's going to love me, but you're not doing the job properly. And I'm going to do the job properly, and Lake Carmel has to be taken apart section by section and done properly. And to say that I paved private roads before that is false. What I'll do in a section, if I'm probably in the southern section of Lake Carmel, down by close to Hillendale. In Hillendale, we were there for 4 hours. I didn't pave their roads.
I didn't say pave.
We filled potholes. We don't it's against the law for me to pave a road in Hillendale. I have to pave it, I have to fill the potholes for the police cars, the fire trucks, the school buses, and the ambulances. That's what I have to do it for, and I have to keep it, because they pay taxes, and they have a right for the emergency services, and that's what I have to do. And that's the decent thing to do, and I'm not gonna turn neighbor against neighbor. They pay taxes, and they pay for our fleet, and our building and our facilities, just because they're on a private road. We worked out an agreement, and actually, I was at Cornell 2 weeks ago, and the Cornell Law Department asked for our law, because they're looking at it for other towns in the state. And that's all I want to say in that.
But it wasn't answered that they were priority. We have craters, not just potholes.
Give me a list, Kathy.
Craters.
Did you call the list?
I was thinking of spray painting them
Oh, I'm sorry.
like they did in Sedgwick Club, because I heard if you spray paint the potholes, you get them filled. So maybe that's what I'll do instead of counting them.
No, that's not true. Before I send my men on an Easter egg hunt to look for potholes in a neighborhood, I require Hillendale, White Pond Colony is dirt roads, Hillendale and Sedgwick Club to give me a map with a house address and a circle where the pothole is. So my guys can go in, they locate it, they get it done, and they're out of there. I'm not gonna have guys driving around in a pickup looking for potholes. They don't, to say that, that's just wrong to say that, Kathy. All right, I'm gonna move on.
I think,
I'm sorry.
Sue.
What year was this article? 2017, I got it.
Yes.
Sue Kotzer, Town of Kent. So looking at this paper that Rich handed out for the 2022-2024 three-year plan, projected paving and drainage projects, these roads are all in Lake Carmel, so will all this extensive pipe replacement and potholes and paving be done to correct some of the problems that the residents are complaining about?
I want you to read the heading. 3-year projected paving and drainage projects, adjust for safety and funding as needed. Roads added as needed. Right now, blacktop is up 22% from last year. I was paying $80, a little less than $81 a ton for blacktop last year. Right now, I'm paying $103. So basically, what I could pave a mile of road last year is equal to 3/4 of a mile this year. These are roads that I targeted, that I'm trying to get done. Sue,
Okay.
if I got $10 million, I'd pave the whole damn town, I'd fix the whole town, I'd buy everyone a new car. But it's up to me to decide which ones are the priority,
Okay.
which ones are the most dangerous. Well, that's in the next,
So this needs to be updated then, because you won't be able
well,
to do
depending
all
what I
this.
get done this year. Like some of
And
the
the
roads,
cost, Mr.
some of the roads in Lake
Hoffman.
Carmel, like East Croton Road. You see, it's a little less than a mile.
Mm-hmm.
East Croton Road needs to have 3 streets that are above it, all repiped, before I can pave East Croton Road.
So which 3 streets are there? Are they on this?
They're not
list?
I don't think they're on this map, but they just need pipe work because it's flooding out. There's 2 residents there that live right next to the stream. Their backyards are getting flooded out.
So do you start at the top or the bottom of the hill? I don't know.
Excuse
I'm
me?
not an engineer. Do you start at the top of the
I
hill?
want to fix the drainage. I want to fix the drainage
You
before I
start
pave
at
the
the
road.
bottom,
The top.
the top.
You start the drainage at the top before you pave the road at the bottom. Is that what you're asking?
No, the whole project in the whole area, do you start at the top?
If the
If you have a
drainage has to be
whole
done, you start at the top.
Grid of roads, you start at the top and tear it down, or?
The drainage system on the higher roads has to be done because it ends up going through an easement and these people.
First, before you do the lower
Yeah, oh
roads.
yeah.
Okay.
Before you finish the finished product, and like in Pudding Street right now, I had the telephone company there this morning. We're gonna be paving there tomorrow where Pudding Street meets Lake Tibet. We've gone that far. They moved the telephone poles this morning. I've been after them for almost 3 years to move the poles back. We've had rock hammering, changed all the metal pipes out on Pudding Street, but I'm trying to widen the roads too. I'm trying to get them, a couple of feet wider, but I'm at the mercy of Verizon and NYSEG. Like Bowen Road and Gypsy Trail. Have you been on Gypsy Trail lately?
Yes.
That telephone pole work has been going on for 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm not paving a road to have the telephone company, electric company, rip it apart with their trucks.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Any questions from the board? All right. The second question that Supervisor McClassen asked me was, How do I decide which road I'm going to pave? All right. Number one, like I said, is the condition of the road. I look at the road condition. If it's a disaster and if someone's going to get hurt, then I'll do that right away. The available funding. The traffic load. Like Pudding Street has, because of the Conic there, they have a massive traffic load. I wanted to do that last year, but I couldn't because they were building the Conic overpass. A lot of those roads in Western Kent have been paved once in their whole lifetime. I'll drill a core sample, and it'll only be 2 or 3 inches thick, a blacktop, before you hit soil. Where in Lake Carmel, they've been paved 12 times. I have a section in Lake Carmel, I had almost a foot of blacktop. And what happens, the highway superintendents kept paving over and over. The road gets higher and higher. Now people are going like this into their driveways. So the added curse on Lake Carmel is you got to mill the roads. Really, to do it properly, you got to mill them down to the dirt, and you got to start from scratch. But to mill a road, last year it was $35,000 a mile, besides the $135,000 a mile. Well, Lake Carmel roads are a little cheaper because they're not as wide. But you're talking about $135,000 to $150,000 a mile of road in Lake Carmel to mill and pave. Which, a mile of roads in Lake Carmel, there's only 11 miles of road in Lake Carmel. It goes a long way. In Pudding Street, once that's done in Lake Tibet, everyone's going to forget about it by September. Lake Carmel, you do a mile of roads, you're a hero. All right. So I look at the condition of the road, the funding. Roads pop up all the time that I don't know about. There's almost 500 roads in Kent. I can't remember, about the condition of every road. I used to dream about better things. I'm not going to start dreaming about the road conditions sometimes. I try to widen the roads. And also, well, I'm not going to complain about that. And just the prep work. And the other facts that I did, we were talking about it last night, Chris. 58% of the population of Kent lives on 11% of the roads. Lake Carmel consists of 11% of the town roads. And 58% of the population live in that 11%. 42% of the population lives on 89% of the roads in Western Kent. It's a tough thing to balance out. Oh, God. I gave you the list. Those are roads that I definitely identified. They're on my target. I do have another list where another one popped up the other day. I had to handwrite it in. I went over, somebody complained, and I went over and looked at it. It's got to be done. We've been ditching like mad in Lake Carmel all spring since March. The ditches hadn't been done in years. We just bought a little excavator that's perfect for Lake Carmel, because before all we had was a backhoe, which takes up the whole street. We have this little mini excavator you probably see, and we just take our little 5,500 dump trucks, and we're getting a lot of ditches cleaned out. And that's one of the bigger problems in Lake Carmel, because if you don't have your proper drainage, the water gets under the road and just blows the blacktop apart. So, and I don't know, is there any other questions on how I choose a road? I try to do my best. I don't favor anybody, contrary to what some people think. I don't favor anybody. In front of my road was a dirt road when I built my house. In 1986, they paved it. I came home, I was furious. I wanted to stay a dirt road. My road has not been paved since 36 years ago, and that's my road, and I'm not going to pave it. And I know you're upset because you ride your bicycle on it, and I keep a pothole right in front of my driveway on purpose. Right? I keep it there because they did do potholes up the top there by McMath's house. There's a spring under that road, in the road there, and I got accused of favoring my road. So it's
I have a question, Richie. On this plan that Sue was referencing, the 2022 to 2024 3-year plan, at the top it has 2 asterisks for second year and 3 asterisks for third year and final year, but I don't see any asterisks actually on the lists.
Because I just put it out this year.
All right.
When it's on the list for a year, this way I can kind of do a waiting list as other ones get added on. What I've been trying to do now is do our big roads in the beginning. I don't want to start doing them in the beginning of May, because the warmer the weather, the better job you get with blacktop, the hotter it is. So that's why we're paving now. But what I've been doing the last couple of years is like we did August and September, we did our Lake Carmel roads because we can do them ourselves. I don't need to subcontract the big trucks out. That's something we can do in-house. So I think Barrett Hill and that whole section there we did last year in September and August, maybe a little bit the beginning of October. But like I said, I have money set aside for Lake Carmel road paving, and I have a crew every day changing pipe, fixing basins in Lake Carmel, prepping to blacktop.
When I first got elected, I met you down in your office, and I'm fairly certain, maybe it wasn't you, but I'm fairly certain you showed me a map of the total town of Kent, and you had roads color-coded from red, different colors on the conditions of the road. Do you still use that type of thing, where if somebody wanted to see roads from the condition level?
That was roads I paved. I did that in the beginning, and then I was running out of colors. So that's why I do this list, and the list is on the website. You can see it on the website. That's why I copied it so you guys can see it. And just call a road. I'm trying to hit these roads. And I also have the pocket developments. We're going to be doing Tiger Trail East and West next week. We have all these little developments. We did Romanoff's 2 years ago. The other Romanoff's development, Robin Drive and all that, that's got to be done. That's due to be done. So we have all these pocket developments, and these people, I try to show the flag everywhere. I try to show each section of Kent that they have a highway department. If I just concentrate in one area, it's not fair to everybody else. But again, if I had an election tomorrow, Putney Street would love me. I think Carmel's going to hate me, but everybody's turn will come, and I'm doing my best with it. And the only other thing I want to say, anyone that's watching here, if you have any questions, just call me. Please don't gossip. Don't put out rumors that are not true. Just ask me. You can come into the office. You can look through the filing cabinet. You can do what. You can sit in my desk and twirl around in a circle. I don't care. I have nothing to hide. I'm going to die in this town, and I'm proud of my guys, and I'm proud of my department, and I do not like to be on the defensive like I'm doing something wrong every day, because I work really hard at this, and I've made easier money in my life contracting. This is a hard thing to do this job. And the board has worked very well with me. This is my second bipartisan board. And these guys, they have to try to keep the tax rate down for everybody. It's hard all around. And we can get the money. We can fix everything. Give me double my men and give me $10 million. And you'll be living in Bedford Hills. So I try very hard, and the board works very hard with me. And this board, a few requests I had this year, they already turned me down. They said, Richie, no way. So I don't have my way with them. They know when to pull the choke collar on me. And that's it.
I think.
I'm sorry, sir.
Simon Carey. I just have two quick questions. The list that you gave us for 22 to 24, is there any order that these are in? This is the order you're hoping to do them in, or they're just kind of, this is...
I'm hoping the
total
first
road?
group...
I'm just saying because somebody might come along and see the list and say, oh, I'm supposed to be next, but that's not necessarily true. Is that right?
If there's an emergency or something suddenly happens on the road, I'm going to try to keep that order. Maybe I shouldn't even have done it. Maybe
And the second thing, I know it has nothing to do with you, but there was rumours, here's rumours again, that Route 52 was going to be paid this spring by the state.
It's not.
Anybody hear anything about that?
Richie, you and I emailed about it, remember? It's not.
Bill Eustace said he was on that. I hadn't heard anything, and yeah.
They emailed us and said, well, we'll keep you in mind, but it's not on the plan.
Is there any options for us to try to put any extra hard pressure on the DOT to
That's what we did. We tried.
Well, we're going to have a
We
new...
do.
It's brutal. It's horrible.
We're going to have a new senator and a new assembly person this year, and we're going to have a new governor. So let's do our double attack. Get Republicans and Democrats and ask them both, and we request it, and we put it as a priority. That's all you can do. I mean,
We can keep trying, but as of right now, there's nothing that they're going to be doing it, so.
That's a shame.
there's like a cloud that says 1313 Mockingbird Lane hanging over 52 there. So. All right, good, everyone?
All right, one last question. Maybe I misheard you, but if I heard you right, I want to hold you to it. You said $10 million, you'll pave every road in town and we all get a car? Is that what you said?
I have a big mouth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richie. All right. Alrighty, are we ready to go? Back to, okay. Our next item is the Comcast Cable Franchise Agreement. There's no backup, there's nothing, because we've already done this, but unfortunately, we put the wrong date on something, and the cable franchise would not accept it, so we're basically just going through all the steps again, but we've already approved it, so this is just for a clerical error.
That's right.
So we're setting the public hearing tonight.
That's right.
Okay. Someone want to read the resolution?
I have to find it.
It's the very first one.
This one here? Okay. I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution. Local law, is this the local law one? Am I reading the right one?
Yeah. What resolution number is it?
Yeah.
No, you're
Doing
on,
the cable, there is no,
there's not, it's this one. I've got it.
You got it? That's what
I make a resolution for providing for a public notice and hearing. Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent will hold a public hearing on the renewal of the franchise with Comcast Cable, and be it further resolved, the copies of the renewal agreement will be available for review in the town clerk's office, and be it further resolved, the town board will hold a public hearing on said renewal agreement at the town hall in the town of Kent, New York at 7:00 p.m. on July 2nd? We good with that? Oh, 5th? Oh, sorry.
I think it's the second.
July 5th?
It would be July 5th, is that enough time, 5 days?
I think we told him it would more likely be the second meeting, so if that gives you, it has to be 5 days. If you can get it in on time for the 5th, that's fine, but I told him.
The date would be the 29th, that it would be public in the paper. You can count the 29th, the 30th, that's 3, 4, and you have a holiday, the 4th. So the 5th day would actually be the day of the meeting.
So July 19th.
Yeah, we'll do July.
Okay.
That's what I told you to expect.
Okay, on July 19th, and be it further resolved, the town clerk will publish or cause to be published the attached public notice in the official newspaper of the town of Kent of said public hearing at least 5 days prior thereto. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Alrighty. The next item is last week we closed the public hearing on the veterans tax exemptions. So today we're just voting on putting everything into place. Does anyone have anything? Any comments?
You know what, read it because the resolution says the hearing was continued to today, so I just wanted to cross
You
that
see,
out.
okay.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution, whereas a local law amending Chapter 67 entitled Taxation, which amendment will revise Chapter 67 through -12 to amend the maximum veterans exemption and Cold War veterans exemption, was introduced as introductory law number
3.
Thank you. Number 3, the local law of the year of 2022 before the town board of the town of Kent on May 17th, 2022. And whereas the public hearing was open on June 7th, 2022, and the public was invited to attend and be heard on the matter. Now therefore be it resolved that the introductory law number 3 of 2022, hereby enacted by the town board of the town of Kent as local law number 3 of 2022 of the town of Kent, and be it further resolved that the true copy of the law is attached herethro and made a part of. I'd like to make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Our next item is the ARPA library proposal that we have been talking about, and I just want to pull up something. Let me just look here because I.
Do you want me to talk about the change since I
Well-
sent you the wrong one?
Hold on one second, because I didn't tell you about this news either, because we have been approved from, the county sent us a list of what they will fund us with the ARPA funds. We're still waiting for all the stipulations and stuff, but they've broken down what they're giving us for. And they are giving us the $50,000 towards the library proposal. I know last week we spoke about what we were going to pay the person, and I think we still should lower that and everything.
That's been
Right.
done.
It has been.
Right, no, I know, but even though they've given us the $50,000, but, the good news is that they've fully funded it.
Fantastic.
I'll find out the rest of the details this week,
Just to
but,
clarify that a little, we sent the count, Jamie met with the county and gave the county a list of things that we wanted funded. And they went through it and picked and chose the ones that they agreed to fund, and this was one of them that they agreed to fund.
yes.
So just to clarify, in the backup was the original proposal, and at the last meeting, we discussed the possibility of having a slightly lower compensation rate for the teacher for the program, for the technology education program for children. And so the library director, Carol Donick, came back with a revised proposal that reduced the teacher's salary to about 2/3 of what was originally budgeted. That brought the education cost down to $3,600 for the first year and $2,800 for each of the 4 subsequent years, and brought the grand total down to $46,444. So unfortunately, that was not in the backup. That was my error. But that is the revised proposal, and I'm sure that all concerned will be ecstatic that the county has opted to fund this, as I am.
So, I'm gonna try to get all the information, and then at the next meeting, hopefully I'll be able to let everyone know exactly what we have to do to keep moving forward. Since we're on the ARPA funding, I'm just
Can I
going,
just stay on this for
Okay,
1
I'm
second?
sorry.
And just for some clarification, everybody, instead of $50 an hour, what was it gonna come out to per hour?
I calculated it was around $34.60 or something. I don't have
Okay.
that number with me.
All right, thank you.
Amount per session, right?
Right.
That's the one.
all right, I'm gonna tell everyone the other items that they funded. So they gave us towards the renovation of the old town hall building into a community resource center and offices. We asked for $450,000, and they gave us a total of $730,500 because of inflation and stuff. They didn't think that was enough, so they actually gave us more than we requested. And then they are also giving us, we wanted to have the food security pilot program in the building as well, and they are giving us $288,000 towards that. Okay, I read the library one. I'm sorry, it's a very, very small chart that they sent me. When I print it out, it's even smaller, so I have to look at it on my phone. Then they also are giving us towards the Lake Carmel Dam engineering. They are giving us a total of $235,000 towards engineering, which is amazing.
Yeah,
We're
so-
very happy about that.
Again, for clarification, we'd already received a $100,000 grant, but that wasn't for total engineering in the Lake Carmel Dam. So now with the county funds, we'll be able to completely do all of the engineering for Lake Carmel with the funding that'll be coming in.
I'm sorry. $235,000. Yep. And then the last thing that they are giving us money for is if anyone has ever drove into Ryan's Field, you know how terrible the entranceway is there. It's an accident waiting to happen. It's terrible. Ryan's Field. It's terrible. So we want to do some work there and stuff, and they are giving us $17,300 to do improvements at the entranceway there. Yes.
The V where the
Where
two
you kind
roads
of like
come up
pray
over
and
the hill.
hope that you're not gonna get hit pulling out of there, and that you're not gonna, yeah. So that's what we're getting funded. Again, I don't know all the stipulations yet. I'll find out about it, and at the next meeting, I'll be able to tell everyone.
So grand total, could you have
Oh.
it summed up?
Hold on. It's a grand total of a little over 1.3 million.
Perfect.
So this is higher.
This is the
than-
ARPA, and it's also the sales tax revenue that they were giving us, but we also got a little bit more. They gave us.
We went by project.
They went over what they had promised us, which is always nice. So, but again, I don't know all the details. I will let everyone know as soon as I find out. They're having a meeting right now about it, so obviously none of us could be in 2 places at once, so. And I found out about it yesterday, so there was no way to move anything. So, all right.
That's really exciting.
It
I mean,
is.
this
It
is gonna
is.
move along some big projects that we've been hoping to do. And for them to step up and agree that Kent needed those projects done is
Yeah.
a big bonus for the residents of Kent.
Yeah. So, all right, we're all good? Okay. Our next item is the standard workday reporting for elected officials. This is just for the retirement. Elected and appointed officials have a different workday set, so. Does someone want to read?
I'm just curious, so
Oh.
my backup is a white paper with five black lines on it. I hope you
I
guys
think
is
this
better.
is, I think that it's because they whited out the social security numbers, and I guess that's all that printed, but
You don't have the rest of it?
he doesn't.
I have the same sheet.
I'll read this one.
Do you want to look at mine so you know what it is? It's,
Dot, dot, dash, dash.
yeah, look, it's right there.
I'm not
All
sure
right.
what happened. Sorry, Chris.
All right, is everyone okay with it?
Yeah.
Jamie, I gave you the revised one too, for your
Yeah, I have it.
hours. Okay.
I don't have just black outlines, I have everything.
You're special.
Yeah, I am. You tell me all the time.
It happens.
All right,
I'll read this one. It's one line. It's short.
okay, then you do it.
I'd like to make a resolution for setting standard workday for elected officials. Whereas the town of Kent wishes to establish a standard workday for its elected officials, now therefore be it resolved, the town of Kent hereby establishes the standard workdays for its elected officials as set forth on the attached schedule, and will report days worked to the New York State and local employees retirement system based on the timekeeping system or the record of activities maintained and submitted by these members to the clerk of this body. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, I'm very excited about this next one. So myself and the Director of Recreation, James Hoffman, have been interviewing for like what feels like an eternity. And we have finally found someone that we think is the perfect fit for our rec department as our provisional recreation leader. They are provisional because they're required to take a test. We requested the test, but we don't know when the test will be. So the only thing is that it's a salary. It's not per hour. I don't know. So it's 50. The salary is 50,000.
Okay.
So it's 50,000 per year.
Not per hour.
Thank God. That's even more than the teachers get.
And he will be starting, actually, his first day will be our backyard Olympics on Saturday. He will be starting, so.
Nice.
Any questions?
Nope, sounds good to
Okay.
me.
All right, let's read it.
I'll do.
Thank you.
Make a motion adopting a resolution authorizing the hiring of a provisional recreation leader. Whereas the town of Kent is seeking to fill the position of provisional recreation leader for the Recreation Department, and whereas by email dated June 10th, 2022, James Hoffman, Director of Recreation and Parks, recommended the hiring of Daniel Anderson as provisional recreation leader. And now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the hiring of Daniel Anderson as provisional recreation leader at a rate of $50,000 per year. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I hereby make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. So our next item is the hiring of seasonal workers, park maintenance workers for recreation and parks. So we only have one person listed on this resolution, but there's actually 3 that I want to hire tonight. So do you want me to read the resolution? That way it's, I have all the names? We're all good with that? Okay. I make a resolution to hire seasonal employees for the Recreation and Parks Department, whereas the town of Kent is seeking to fill a vacant position for positions for a seasonal park maintenance workers for the Recreation and Parks Department. And whereas James Hoffman, Director of Recreation and Parks, has recommended the hiring of Tim White, Emerson Appleyard, and William Peterson to fill the positions. And whereas the town board believes it to be in the best interest of the town to accept the recommendations, and now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the hiring of Tim White, Emerson Appleyard, and William Peterson as seasonal park maintenance workers for the Recreation and Parks Department at the rate of $13.20 per hour. Be it further resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Alrighty, and then our next item, we're hiring more lifeguards. So we would like to hire Jeremy Smith and Melanie Clammer. Melanie, it's pending her certification. She did pass, but we don't have the certification in our hands yet, so we just want to do it.
So she wasn't on the original list from the last
No,
meeting?
she wasn't, so, but still, the more lifeguards, the better.
And the other one, Jeremy Smith, already
He's
came in.
already passed,
Already came in.
yep, he's good. Well, she passed too, but we already have his paperwork, so I'm just asking the board to approve those two.
Okay, well, I guess it's my turn. I make a motion to adopt a resolution for the hiring of lifeguards in the Lake Carmel Park District. Whereas the town of Kent is seeking to fill the summer positions of lifeguards in the Lake Carmel Park District, LCPD, and whereas James Garbarino, LCPD Lifeguard Supervisor, has recommended the hiring of Jeremy Smith and Melanie Clammer as lifeguards for the 2022 season, and whereas the town board desires to accept the recommendations of Mr. Garbarino, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the hiring of Jeremy Smith as lifeguard for the 2022 season at a rate of $14 per hour, and the hiring of Melanie Clammer for the 2022 season at the rate of $14 per hour, subject to her obtaining the appropriate certification. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'm going to make a motion to add an item to the agenda for a T-ball fence. Make the motion.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We need to have a backstop fence installed at the T-ball court. It's dangerous. They never put one up there. We attempted to get 3 quotes. Duke Fence put in a quote for $2,950. We reached out to Campanella several times and they never called us back. And then we also called another fence company that said they were too busy and that they never win the bids anyway, so they weren't wasting their times coming out here.
You tried.
So we tried. But it is necessary because if we don't, someone's going to get hurt the way that it is right now. So I'll just do it. I make a motion to award Duke Fence to install a backstop fence at the T-ball field at Ryan's Field, an 8-foot high backstop with 12-foot long sides coming off on each end for a cost not to exceed $2,950.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. And then our next item is, I am adding this, I'm inviting the chief up to speak to us about something that.
Thank you very much. Not to take up too much time, we are looking to order 2 new cars for next year. Obviously, we don't have a budget yet, but cars are taking in crazy amounts of time. The car we ordered last year for this year still hasn't come in. We ordered that last November. So I'm looking to order 2 cars, not to exceed $100,000. I don't know how much they're going to be. They keep going higher and higher. But we're definitely going to need 2 new cars for next year, and could take 10 months to get them. So,
Nancy, is that allowable that we would order vehicles out that we haven't even budgeted for yet?
I'm sure it's allowed. When do you pay for it? When they come in?
yeah, we never pay for materials until we get them. But we do have to give the person a promissory thing saying we're gonna pay it. You know, they all require a letter.
All right, so,
Do you want me to look into it? a
yeah, I
little
think
bit
so,
and
but
see
I have a
if we can
dumb,
do it the
dumb,
right
dumb
way?
question, because I know this will never happen, but say you put this order in next week and all of a sudden, in a month from now, 4 cars show up.
Yeah, well, we could put right in the letter, we can't take possession
Till
to
after
it till after.
January?
Yeah,
All right.
January 2023.
I'm good with it then.
Okay.
I mean, that'd be ideal. And if we got them that quick, we'd probably make money off because other towns need them. So, as long as you guys are okay with it. And we don't even have an order to put in yet. We still have to find the cars and order them, so.
Okay.
Okay?
Which you will do off of state.
Yeah, we'll piggyback off another municipality's bid or a state bid. Once we find them, they'll set us up with that. All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Want to do vouchers?
Is it that time?
It's that time of night.
It's not bad, it's 8 o'clock. I make a motion to approve the following vouchers from June 21st, 2022 that are over the threshold. Oh, I'm gonna blow this one bad. Arciero, McMillan, and Burgess PC, $4,033, attorney for the Zoning Board of Appeals. Hudsonia, $5,973 for Progress Natural Resources. Metal Building Restoration, $516,000, requisition number 4, Highway Garage. MJB Enterprises, $3,640 for sand for Lake Carmel beaches. Nicomco, $2,846 for two-way radios for the police. Rings Squared, $3,542.75 for telephone service. Royal Carting, $4,503.60 for recycling garbage. State Comptroller, $38,467 for Justice Court fines and fees for April, and $29,989 for Justice Court fines and fees for May. Town of Kent Municipal Repairs, $2,106.81 for chargebacks for sanitation from March, and $16,406.30 for chargebacks from Highway from March. I ask the board to approve these vouchers as read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, I have a few announcements. Our first one is this Saturday, June 25th, is the annual Lake Carmel Park District Fishing Derby. It starts at 8:30 a.m. at Beach 4. 3 age divisions, last weigh-in is at 11 a.m. And then also on Saturday, we have Backyard Olympics at Ryan's Field from 10 to 12. And then to round off the night, we have our fireworks over Lake Carmel, the Town of Kent fireworks over Lake Carmel at about 8:30, give or take a little bit. So Saturday is a fun-filled day. Get out there and experience everything the town has to offer.
Enjoy it. The weather's supposed to be really nice.
Yes?
There's also a concert at 6:30 at the Arts Center.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right.
That's right.
There's also a concert, lots of things.
Wednesday.
As we are also talking about the lake, this past weekend, Lake Carmel opened. It was our first weekend open for the season. We have a lot of lifeguards. We have had all 4 beaches checked and they're passed by the health department, and we are hoping to have all 4 beaches open. Probably not on a daily basis, but hopefully on the weekends. We're still trying to figure out scheduling and stuff, but you know, we have more lifeguards than we've had in a very long time. So we're hoping that we'll be able to have them all open on a semi-regular basis. I can't promise every day. And then, let's see, my next announcement is, we also held last Saturday, or Saturday before that, E-Waste Day. We held it in conjunction with the Town of Carmel. It was a huge, huge success. I'd say there was more Carmel residents there than Kent, but the Carmel residents had maybe like a TV, and our Kent residents really packed their cars full. And it was great. We had a Kent police officer there as well as a Carmel police officer there helping unloading. They were great sports. Supervisor Kazari was also there with me, and in September, we'll be having another E-Waste Day in Carmel. They're also going to have a Shred It Day in Carmel, and Kent residents are welcome to attend both. We're trying to do things together so that it benefits the residents of both towns. So I was very, very happy with how it turned out. We had a lot of support from the residents. So, and thank you, Kevin, for the officers and the cadets. They were awesome. That's all I have.
Oh, I just got a couple of things. I just want to piggyback off Supervisor McGlasson's statement about the fireworks. We're still waiting for several checks to come in, but I want to thank those people that have donated, both residents and businesses. What's that?
We don't think till after the fireworks.
I'm going to thank them anyway. Craig Bumgarner, Cassidy Plumbing and Heating, Kent Liquors, Town of Kent PBA, A-Class Builders, the law offices of Joseph Charbonneau, Gino's Grab and Go, DNA Well Water, H2O Services, Boyd Artesian Wells, and the Carmel Kent Chamber of Commerce. And the last thing I'm going to announce is a little personal, but I want to congratulate all the Town of Kent residents and all the Carmel High School grads. They'll be graduating tomorrow. I'm tearing up. I can't believe my son is 18. So congratulations, Gus, and my nephew Will, and all the graduates as they move on to the next chapter of their young adult lives. Job well done.
Congratulations.
You too, Dad. Job well done.
Good job.
My wife's gonna make fun of me.
She has to.
I know.
All right, anyone else on the board have any announcements?
Nope,
Nope.
we're good.
Public?
I know you budgeted for the e-waste. Did you budget enough for the e-waste collection? Because it was very, very successful.
Yes. We didn't have quite enough in there, but it's okay. It wasn't. We budgeted a good amount of it.
Okay.
So, and we're not going to have it again. You know, it was never put in the budget for twice, but we were going to have it twice.
Right.
But now we're not. So we're going to make out very well in the deal.
Okay.
I promise.
Thank you.
Yes.
I was just wondering,
Smile for the camera.
Janice Capper, Lake Carmel. Wondering what's happening with the insurance money for the community center?
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm glad you said that
And also the status of some new people that we're looking for to be on the board?
So the new people, we were waiting because we want to talk to all of you again to see what you want to do. And the money, so I'm still been in, I know, I spoke to the adjuster, he gave me an amount. I'm waiting still for the stipulations because they gave us a number and they said, this is if you repair it, this is what you'll get. But I also asked, say we knocked it down and we put up a new building, would we still receive that same money? Right. And they couldn't answer that. And I said, well, I want to know all the details. I want to know all of our options so we can lay them all out there before we make a decision. I don't want to say, okay, let's knock it down and then find out we only get the 2/3 of the money. I want to know we're getting all the money for either option and then we can make a better decision that way.
Right.
But the adjuster didn't know, he had to go to someone else and they weren't sure. So I want a concrete answer. I don't want someone to say, well, I think it's okay.
Right.
You know, we've waited this long and I don't want to rush it now and not get the right answer.
Okay. And what about with the handball court? Do you think we can get that up for this summer?
I was thinking
Definitely?
about that the other day. I think that's a project that could be accomplished.
Yes.
All right, great.
We're still struggling with the high price of lumber, which we were hoping would come back down to earth, but it's an important feature there that could be used, and I think it's worth the effort.
All right, sounds good.
But just on the same note, Supervisor McGlasson has gotten the report from the insurance people that looked at it, but we also got the engineering report that we had went to get last year. So we have all the reports in hand, and we will probably be scheduling another meeting with the Lake Carmel Committee at this point to start reviewing everything that we've been able to get in once she gets the final numbers.
The only frustrating thing was that there's a lot of asbestos in there, and we don't have asbestos insurance. So that's a big issue.
Okay. Well, we look forward to setting up a meeting maybe in the beginning of July.
Yep.
Right? Okay, great. Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. What about the mining? Anything
I'll bring-
new with the mining?
I'll bring you up to date to where we're at right now. So
Okay.
right now we have, the town board has given back to the consultants a rough version of what we'd like to see. It certainly holds the general meaning of what we want to see come out of it, but we've asked the consultants to go through that and make sure there's no redundancies and that it flows good as a town code and to make it into a true fit for town code. And my request was to shorten it the best they can. So that was back in the beginning of June, and I think their deadline to get it back to us, to the town board, was by July. At that time, we'll take a look at it one more time and get it over to the planning board so they have a little bit of time to review it, and then we'll have one more joint meeting with them to try to just make sure we all agree on it and then move it forward from that point.
So when does our final end?
Like September 4th, but we should be wrapping it up by the end of July because we're gonna have to go into public hearing. right? What do we need? Probably two meetings of public hearing on that
Usually
one.
do too. We
Yeah.
don't, so we're not legally required to, but that's just the way we've done it.
All right.
Is it?
Yeah.
I make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful 4th of July.
Thank you.